What is up, everybody? Got old school Dirk here, and I'm here with some special guests tonight to talk about the JConcepts ONS Series. Up top, we had Mr. Cole Tollard, recently coming off a great finish at the Worlds in four-wheel drive and doing it outside. So, Cole, thank you so much for joining us, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Then we got Mr. J Rowe up top. What's up, Jay?
What's going on, Dirk? We are here. We're talking RC, so it's a good night.
Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. We got my good buddy, Jesus. Sorry, Jesus. Got my good buddy, Jose Zayas, with us from TLR tonight.
Hey, Dirk. Thanks for having us. And ditto. I'm excited to be talking RC with you guys.
Oh, I am too. So we got a little something new here going on tonight. We got a little Schumacher in the house with Cole, and got a little TLR in the house with Jose. And of course, me and Jason mainly run AE products, so it's good to have a nice little mix. And man, Cole, I want to hear a little more about your story because those Schumachers are coming on strong, really strong.
Yeah, the Schumacher brand is definitely has expanded through the years. Brock was probably one of the first ones in the States, and he really made it eye-opening on how good the brand was. And now that you see it, the past 2 years, they've grown a lot. But I guess I'll start off with when I started racing. I started racing when I was 4 years old. I believe I had a double XT that my dad got me. And we got out of the hobby right after that a little bit. We ended up moving. Then my cousin got into racing, went back in 2009, 2010. He did some oval racing, dirt oval. So then after that, we went down, checked him out, and decided to go full board and haven't stopped since.
Well, you've had some great success lately, Cole. We can get into it in a minute, but I'm very interested in hearing a little more about the Worlds and how it was over in Australia, and because you're one of the first ones we talked to that has come off the track at the Worlds, and we're excited to talk about that. And want to give my buddy Jose a little chance to say a little bit about himself and what he's been up to, and talk about what's going on with because Jose is, of course, a team manager with Losi, and talk a little bit about how things are going with Losi. And they just introduced a brand new car, right?
Yep.
Which is very cool. And it was not a 24 scale, so that's kind of cool. I predicted it, didn't I?
You did.
I did. All right.
Strong prediction.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
But thanks, Dirk, and glad to be a part of this, and really appreciate the invitation. As you captured, I'm with, of course, representing TLR. I'm the East Coast manager for the brand, and it's been an exciting few years, especially now that we have a full suite of 10 scale cars that are new and exciting and performing well across the tracks. And we're really excited about the new four-wheel that just released a couple of days ago, which will be available in the coming weeks to the audience. So I'm really excited about the platforms. They're doing quite well, and we really think that TLR is really providing some really good products, competitive products to the industry. So I race primarily combination of modern racing, what we talk about just now, and of course vintage racing. So I kind of tend to straddle both. As a factoid of today, Cole started racing when he was 4. That's when I retired from racing the first time. So just to kind of give a little bit of the spread here, but no, all aside, it's exciting. And connecting back to Cole, before I was a Losi driver in '96, I was with Schumacher in '95 and worked with Robin out of the Florida shop. So a small connectivity there, but glad to be here. I'm excited to talk about the ONS series, and of course what we got going on in TLR and this exciting new series that Jason's put together. So always kudos to Jason. I'm fortunate to run for JConcepts, and Jason does a lot for the industry, so it's exciting to be here. So thank you.
Yes, he does. Jay, you got anything you want to say to kick it off?
I mean, I think Jose, he nailed it. Great stuff. He's been in the game, for a long time as well. Cole. I know one of the first times I remember seeing him was the short course showdown, pictures of him at Scotty Ernst's track then at trackside. He was running some short course. And I don't know how old he was there, maybe 9, something like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was probably 2010. So 10, 11.
There you go. So yeah, he's been running the short course since the beginning. He ran Team Associated. He ran for TLR, ran for Schumacher. So Cole's ran several different platforms now, and he has he went to school. He's got a full-time gig that he's doing. So he's racing at a level where he's making the A main at the Worlds, the most recent Worlds, and he's got a full-time job. So Cole's he's really doing well.
Yeah, Cole. I want to hear a little more, kind of about your last 2 Worlds that you ran in, right? Because you were 2023, and where 2023 was at. Oh my goodness, Jason, help me out.
Hobby Action in Arizona.
Yes, so indoors at Hobby Action, and then you recently had the experience to run outdoors at the most recent Worlds in Australia. So, want to tell us a little bit about those 2 different experiences and your thoughts?
I'll start off with the 2023 Worlds. It was a blast. Hobby Action put on a very good event. It's kind of hard making it feel like a Worlds when it's in your home country. So they made it the best that they could for us, but I hope that everyone else out of the country enjoyed it. The nice thing about it was that it was obviously covered. You didn't have to worry about the weather. It was super hot, I believe, that weekend, and all of us were thankful that they had AC. But Hobby Action is by far one of the nicest facilities that we have in the States. As far as the surface goes, Hobby Action's always had a different type of surface. It's kind of rocky, so it's not familiar to a lot of the U.S. tracks. But it was definitely difficult when we had slicks and we had no tire sauce there. So it definitely leveled up the playing field. And then as we go to Australia now, outdoor, kind of in the middle of nowhere, just in the park. But honestly, I was really enjoying or looking forward to that time going to Australia. I feel like being outside, it's kind of like camping. You kind of go around, talk to everyone, and when you're inside at Hobby Action, you just kind of feel stuck in one spot, and everyone's cramped up. And at the Worlds in Australia, everyone's kind of spread out, so that's kind of nice. Running pin tires out in Australia was definitely different. Not a lot of people do that anymore, but at the same time, they brought in new dirt. It kind of changed on how you attack the track. Like the locals, it wasn't like the usual, I guess, from what I've heard. So it kind of like Hobby Action, like the playing field was leveled just by changing the dirt a little bit, which was nice.
All right.
Oh, that's all I really got.
Yeah. So what do you think about the running outside, and how was the track? And I mean, did you enjoy the surface?
I enjoyed the surface. Some guys, it took a little bit for them to get up to speed, but I honestly enjoyed it. It was a lot on how I practiced on. I practiced on an A-scale track before I ended up going there. It was a little bit looser at first when the track was green, but as soon as the grip came up, I was honestly surprised at how much grip we had.
Wow, nice. Jose, what are your thoughts about us going outdoors again? I know when you first started, you were doing a lot of outdoors racing, right?
Of course, yeah. No, I grew up outdoors, like many of us, right? If you were racing in the '90s, and it was rare. The time I went a lot to California, there was a few key tracks there, but it was being indoors was a luxury, not an everyday occurrence. Right? We were racing outdoors most of the time. And to me, I'm really excited about going outdoors again for a lot of the different reasons. I've always, maybe it's the old school of me. I like the challenge of dealing with different track conditions as the day progresses, and you have to really stay on top of it, either by tires and setups and everything. It really makes it a different experience. And I think, like Cole said, I don't want to undermine what he said. The reality is that outdoor racing also is conducive to a different experience as a racer, from a hanging out, talking with people and everything. I think it really brings a lot of different elements that I hope people will really embrace and find really just another way to think about the way that we race here, right? And that's also, as Cole alluded to, right? I was not in Australia, but you can see that come qualifying and everything, not only did they understand what they needed to do to go fast, these cars were moving and they were generating quite a bit of grip, and they were handling fantastic. I mean, I was really impressed with cars that were naturally designed for higher grip surfaces, how well they did. So that just really is a testament to not only the engineering, but if you really commit to working on the setup, finding the combination of tires, you can certainly make a car go around the track. Very much like we have seen in the vintage community, right? These cars that were not designed for the modern surface, call it a glue surface or whatever. If you went to Hoosier, these cars with some setup changes, they did the same thing as well. So I think it's just a different mindset. It's a different experience, and so forth. My last Worlds was 03 in Minreg, which was indoor pitting and outdoor racing. Jason knows it well. It's one of my favorite facilities. And, it's just I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I hope people are really considering the ONS series as somewhere to try, not only something different, but it's just a fundamentally different experience. And I think folks will have a lot of fun. I think it's going to be exciting.
I agree. I have not been, since I've been back, I have not been to an all tent scale outdoor race, so it's going to be amazing. I mean, bringing back the roots of racing, and Jose, you said it best earlier, us Spanish guys, have been doing a lot of racing on more modern surfaces lately, right? So I think it's going to be cool to have the, kind of take a full circle and have the modern cars come back outside where it kind of all started for 10 scale racing, right?
And I think,
go ahead.
Just really quick, I was just going to say, I've been thinking about this. I really think that this series can dispel a lot of maybe preconceived or thought myths. What I mean by that, really quick, if we were to sitting here 2 years ago when the vintage community was growing in earnest, there was a lot of apprehension about going to a glued surface or this, that, and the other. Will the cars break? Whatever. The modern cars are really not used to going outdoors. And when they think of outdoors, they probably think of an 8-scale track, right? And they look at those jumps and they don't want to be on it, right? And so it's just, there's a lot of I think unknowns that I think people are realizing. But when you think about the world, should be a great example where you have a 10 scale design track with the right size jumps. The difference is now you're outdoors, and the difference is the mindset. You got to go in there with a mindset that you're not going to just be on one tire and you're good to go for the weekend, and you're really slightly tuning your car, right? This is going to be something where you're going to have to think through a little bit of what you really need your car to do. And you really got to, I think some folks said on the previous call, you really got to watch the track, because the track will literally change in front of you. So it's a different mindset. And I think we just need to dispel, I think, what the thinking is right now, or the fear, or the whatever it may be. And I think that's what I believe the ONS will do successfully for this, for racing in general, for 10 scale.
Agree. Any thoughts, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Jose kind of nailed it, with his analysis there. But yeah, what it is taking a modern car and showing that it can be used over and over again in multiple conditions like this. Cole has the first hand knowledge of running in Australia. They do a lot more outdoor racing in Australia. They always pop in our chat here and they're like, hey, we race outdoors. We race outdoors. It's like, yeah, we know you guys got some great outdoor tracks, and us old schoolers are kind of jealous of their outdoor tracks. And I think they're a little jealous of our indoor tracks. So it's kind of funny. But I think what I saw when Cole was racing the Worlds is he was pretty quick to adapt to the conditions there. And I know Paul Wynn jumped on here the last time we were on, and he mentioned that even towards the end of practice into qualifying, I know that the guys started kind of reverting back to some of their settings that they run in other conditions because the cars were getting good along with the track. And I know Brock said he was getting more comfortable. He was going closer, kind of going back towards some things that he runs at home. I don't know if that's what Cole experienced, but watching him drive, you can tell that he did some practice outdoors. He had a handle on being versatile, letting off the throttle. You got to roll on the throttle. You got to be smooth with it. You got to be smooth with the steering and brakes. And I think Cole, maybe he can kind of talk about the style that you kind of picked up on to drive on a track like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Driving on that type of track when it's green, you definitely have to roll on the throttle more till the groove comes in. Once the groove comes in, it honestly isn't that bad. I mean, honestly, everyone's seen the pictures of Brock's car at the end of the World's 21 two-wheel drive. His tires were pretty darn bald in the center, and we had good grip. And sometimes I feel like we fall back on settings that we like back in the States just because we feel more comfortable. Not honestly that it's better overall, but I think it's just more comfort for that driver.
And, the other thing I was going to mention, like Jose was talking about, we have had events in the U.S. going back to 03, the Worlds at Minrig, which was a great facility because there you had almost the best of both worlds. You had the outdoor track, you had the indoor pits. So if it was hot, you had the air conditioning. But there is something to me. I was pitting outside in multiple tents with people around. It's a little bit different of a vibe, in my opinion. Almost better in a sense outdoors. There's a nicer vibe, providing the weather's good. We got to assume that the weather's good. But there's always a different vibe being outside and looking across and seeing others with their tents, their setups. So that's what I think that people can look forward to is having these pits, these setups outside, being, whether you're under a tent or you have a pit space with somebody else and you're just kind of enjoying that atmosphere being a little bit different than when you're inside a building. You really have nowhere to go. You're basically back to back with other racers, in pit tables. You're right next to people. Your stuff is falling onto their pits. Your stuff is falling all over the place. And you kind of have to control your own space. Where you're outside, sometimes you have a table or half a table and you can spread out a little bit. And usually, somebody's got their own music going and you kind of have a little bit of a different vibe to the thing. And I think that's what we're going to attempt to do at this race and at this series is kind of alter that vibe, give that a little bit of that outdoor feeling. And then you get on the track and you go through, as Jose mentioned, the progression of the conditions. The morning, usually it's a little wet. Then it gets dry. Again, providing the weather's good, it dries. Get a little bit of groove action normally. And then as the nighttime comes or the sun goes down, the conditions kind of change again. So there is a little bit of a transition you gotta watch. As Jose mentioned, that's something that I liked to do as well. As I like to watch the track because it gave you an opportunity to kind of seize an advantage in the old days if you could make the call and somebody else didn't get it right. Whereas if you're racing at Hoosier or one of these tracks, that's known for major consistency, you kind of know what you're getting into every single time you get out there. Or even trackside, Cole and I did some testing there. And I mean, we're there from, 11 a.m. till, 10 o'clock at night, and we're within a couple tenths of a second the entire day.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're racing outdoors, there's a much bigger range, which is why, at the Worlds, we went to qualifying in a different manner and things because of track conditions, but you don't have that as much inside. But that's something that's fun about outdoors is making that call. We're trying to take a couple tire options out of the game here, so it makes it easier for the racer. Yeah. Because otherwise you could have, you could have 5 or 6 different options, and you're kind of battling that along with the track. And we're trying to make it more simple, not more complicated, because we already know we can make it complicated. We're all really good at that. We can make it really complicated. The trick is to make it more simple, so the racers can have more fun and kind of get in and out of these things with less commitment and bringing less tires and product and things, making it just a little bit easier. You kind of take off some of the edge of making sure you have everything, because it's a little bit more compact of what you need.
You know how happy I'm gonna be not to have to sauce a tire, Jason. Like that alone makes it all worth it, right?
I'm gonna bring you some sauce just so you can try it,
man. So if I was only to bring 2 sets of tires for my 2-wheel drive and my stadium trucks, okay, what 2 sets should I bring, Jason?
I mean, what I would think is you'd want the Double D's V2 and probably the Sprinters. Those are probably the two. Those are probably the 2 tires that you want for the rear. And
okay.
You can go with the rips for the front of 2-wheel. You could run the Carvers on stadium truck in the front, or you could run the same rear tire in the front. We've done that a bunch. I'm sure Jose has done that a million times. Run the same rear tire in the front. Cole, I know he has the firsthand experience running the rips at the Worlds on the front of the 2-wheel, which is kind of became the favorite. I believe 9 out of 10 in the A main ran those, and I think Clem was the other guy. But he ran. Did he run ellipse or barcodes in the front? He ran one of the 2. But I think a 9 out of 10 in the A at the Worlds, running the rips on the front. So just it's easy. It's easy to drive. There's a sizing, I think, issue, or not issue, but there's kind of a size difference between the front and the rear tire that is kind of conducive to a little easier to drive car for some reason, and it just seems to work.
Right. So of course Patrick's on. He says, it's his home track. He says Sprinters and Double D's V2. So at the Worlds, remind me, it was a spec tire for rear, correct?
That's right.
You have an option to change the front out.
2-wheel front. 2-wheel front was open.
So 4-wheel drive had to run the same spec tire on the front as well.
Correct. All the way around, they ran pins. And then on 2-wheel, the rear was the pin and the front was an open front.
Okay.
I think it's always been like that, right, Jason? I think if you look at IFMAR, I think it's always that way, hasn't it been? As long as I can remember it.
Since 2002.
Wow.
1999 was our last Worlds on open tires.
Oh, wow.
Fully open?
Realize that.
Yeah. So from when Halsey won in 85 all the way to 99, it was open tires.
Wow.
And then in 2000, it was supposed to be in 2001, but 9/11 and moved the race to 02, I think. And then we ran it right back in 03 at Minreg. But those 2 events were controlled tires and open front.
Yep.
So, even there, even at the Worlds at Minreg, we were running, the control tire in the rear, I think, was X2000s. And then we were just going through the different assortment of low-C fronts at the time between the 2-rib, 3-rib front variations. Very similar to what we just did in Australia.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think we experienced that at the vintage race in Vegas too, right? We were, it was different. We hadn't ran on a surface even in vintage like that in a very long time, and we all learned. But I think we all brought so many different sets of tires. If I had to change one thing in Vegas, I probably would have not amounted to anything until I got there. But I think keeping this simple, and just so everybody knows, this is a pin tire style race. There's going to be no slicks, no, what would we say?
No bars.
No bars, right?
And then like the interlocking type tires, like the rehabs and stuff like that, we're not going to use those either. We basically want it to be square or round pins.
Right. But goose bumps are good.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah, but I think you said it. Jesse's on here. I've been trying to get him to come, and he said it's not in his wheelhouse, but maybe we'll convince him one way or the other.
Oh yeah, I mean,
have somebody throw him in somebody's trunk and come down with him.
Absolutely.
He would have a good Lefty in the house. What's up, Lefty?
I've been seeing Lefty so much recently with our INS races. We just left that at trackside. Saw him there. He was at our shop not long before that, riding around, doing a lot of work with Lance and Danny Paz. So
yeah,
Keenan has been busy, loving his RC life, as he likes to post.
He has. I saw a picture of him at Daytona, and I said he was at home, because of Lefty. They're only taking lefts there. Hopefully, you understand what I meant there, Lefty.
I did not think of that.
Yeah. I said he's at home. Yeah, we're going to have a show coming up soon with myself, Lefty, and another special JConcepts driver that loves vintage racing as well. So we've been talking about this for years, trying to get us together. We're the two gray-headed or gray-bearded sexy guys. So it's gonna.
I think one of the things is essentially right now, if we kind of look at the modern side of things at this race, Cole, you'll be racing the LD3, I believe the latest generation Schumacher, 22X, the latest version, for the Losi crew, the Associated guys, some version of the B7, they're a little bit all over the place with how they're setting this thing up right now, but I know that Mayfield just built a B7.1. He went and just bought it at Hobby Action. He built a car because, he's going to come out and race this race with us. And, I told him that we needed him to come out. And so he's getting prepped. It's not the best timing for him, but he's going to work it in. And he's going to run a B7 and modified buggy. And he's going to run a Kinwald RC10 in the vintage class. So he's going to run two classes.
Sweet. I'm going to bring plenty of Coors Light.
The one thing I was thinking of is technically we could get Cole one of those Cougar.
I was thinking, yes, 100%.
A Cougar two-wheel buggy for the vintage class. He wanted to ship that to him, and he'd just open that box and be like, what is this thing?
Wait, what do you think, Cole? I asked you the other night. I'm not sure if I ever answered, but we got that guy on right now that can make it happen.
I think I'm gonna actually put the order in. I want to get the Cougar Classic.
Okay.
I think that one looks the coolest.
Yeah, the Cougar Classic. All right, you got four-wheel drive options with Schumacher as well, right?
Yeah, we do have options. There is so many classes. Like I was looking up all the classes. I'm like, man, I can run a stadium truck. I can run mod two-wheel, mod four-wheel, obviously. But I definitely want to try a third class.
All right. Do they have you hooked up yet?
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, Mike is the man to help you and get you all them setups for that Cougar car for sure. Speaking of old school, good to have you on, Mike.
Yeah, he's about as old as anybody here in terms of his vintage. And
right,
Mike is. I mean, so many photos. We were there at Jose was there at the Clash of Champions, the vintage Clash of Champions. We were going through the the photos and things that they made the video presentation with Dunbar, and Mike's in a ton of those photos.
Yeah.
And as a young man, like we all were in the 90s, I guess. And so, yeah, it was cool. Mike has got a lot of history in racing too.
Yeah, he does. He is going to join us. I saw he signed up, and he told me he was going to do everything he could to help us get Cole there as well. So I'm very excited to have Cole coming for sure. It's going to be amazing. Show him what's up, Cole.
I was just talking to Mike today about it.
Were you?
Yeah.
Mike said, "Thank you for saying how old I am." Well, everybody knows, Mike. We're just reaffirming, okay?
Another one that just joined the chat here, Chill Will. I mean, we got to come to Savannah. He's a Savannah guy. I've seen him race there a bunch. We got to get Chill Will over to Savannah. I'm sure Jose remembers Chill Will.
Oh, yeah.
So Chill Will and I, with me being in Nashville for a long time, we raced a lot of events together, and I love the dude. So I hope he still has some cars. I don't know if the guy's racing anymore. Last thing I saw, he was just roller skating professionally. I don't know what he's doing nowadays. So what have you been up to, Chill? But I want to go bad. Well, do it.
Yeah, we'll get him over there. It'll be a great opportunity. He's come out to the AMS a couple times.
Yep.
He's been at AMS, and Chill's come out there and see what's up, bringing some of his, I think it's his grandkids, perhaps checking out some racing. So it's been good to see him.
I think the last time I raced with Chill Will was at RC3, maybe in Alabama, Huntsville area, I think it is. It's been a long time, but he used to come up to, if you remember, we had the extreme track that we were setting up indoors, Jason. I think you came to it at least once or twice, didn't you? To the
I did not. JR mentioned it for us to that race, but I always thought it looked cool. I kind of wanted to go, but it just, it's crazy with the amount of races there are.
Oh my goodness. How many weekends out of the year are you home, Jason?
I did. I want to say that at the end of 2025, I did. It was 24 or 25 events in 2025. So I think it was 25 events. 4 of them were international. 2 trips to Australia and 2 trips to Portugal. And the rest of them were domestic. And I think so far this year, I've already been on six trips in 2026.
So, wow. Now, Allison normally goes with you when you go on the big trips out of the U.S., right?
Yeah, if it's an international trip, she went to, she went to both in Portugal, and she went to just one of the Australia trips.
Okay. Yep. Jason, what's one thing you really want to see at the race?
Well, the number one thing is good weather. 2 is I want to see the guys in 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive running at a really high level and doing it way into the trigger of the car. Like, because when we watch these races, when we're racing indoors, these guys are only a very split second into the throttle at a lot of these tracks. Whereas, you could hand Cole a 17.5 buggy at trackside, and he's going to be within a very close amount of what he is at running mod. Whereas if you do that in Savannah, when the grip comes up a little bit, the difference between stock and mod, or even 2-wheel and 4-wheel, is dramatic. So, a lot of these races we go to, 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive are somewhat close. Whereas if you're racing outdoors, you could be 1.5 to 2 seconds a lot faster in 4-wheel drive than you are in 2-wheel drive is not unusual. So I want to see the high end racing on the outdoor track. I want to see these guys use the 7.0 motors, the 7.5s, the 6.5s and 4-wheel, and these things look like kind of they're supposed to look. They're supposed to look fast and look impressive, and you'll see that outside because you have the room to get on the throttle. And traditionally we see it just for very split seconds on the indoor races because there's so much precision. You have to be on a narrow line. You have to you only use the power to make a jump, or if you have a straightaway. But even at trackside, you're getting off the throttle there very early because you have a very narrow space to do the end of the straightaway there. You had to be so you're only on and off the throttle to full speed. I mean, a split second. I mean, even Cole can tell us how much full throttle he's driving around out there, and it's probably not that much.
Yeah, it's not much at all. I mean, INS layout, we had not the longest straightaway we could have, but even that was hard to even get on the gas all the way to even make it to the corner, because if you have too much speed going into that corner, you're flipping off the track.
I fell in love watching y'all at trackside. I kind of fell in love with the size and the layout of that track. It's, as I get older, I struggle a little bit, especially indoors with the bigger tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
With eyesight and everything else. I just that kind of looked like my jam. So I definitely want to get out there sometime soon and check it out for sure.
I mean, what I notice is you got two completely different things at trackside and that size track. It's great for racing and club racing, and it's great for repetition. It's great for maintenance. It's great for consistency, and it's great for building your skill because it's very similar all the time. And you can work on that track. It's a size that you can make a new layout very easily in comparison to if you have to start over and you make a big outdoor track or a big 8-scale track. It's a huge undertaking.
Oh, yes.
To build an outdoor track and to do it well. And then if you have issues, to rebuild it. You really have to have a lot of people helping. And so that's what's, kind of the pluses and minuses of both. And they each kind of teach you something. And that's why it's good to be versatile, to be able to race indoors in smaller conditions and then outside in larger conditions. Because now nothing scares you, nothing shocks you. You don't care if the driver stands short or if the driver stands tall. You'll go anywhere and you'll just say, "Oh, this is like so and so track," and you get down with it and you start rolling.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, Dirk. I was just going to piggyback on something that Jason said. I think something that on the things that we control, we all want good weather. None of us control that. But on the things that we do control, going to the outdoor surface, I think, assuming that the track grooves up and we are all having the kind of racing that Jason alluded to, outdoor surfaces, because of their nature, they don't tend to be a one-line track per se. So I think the racing could be really, really good. I think you're going to see more dynamics on the cars and how racers set themselves up to make a pass and things of that nature. So I think, considering weather and all those things aside, I think people will be surprised at how much fun the racing is going to be from that element of it, that they're not as used to. A lot of these groom, especially the glue tracks, tend to, at the end of the day, be a one-line track, and you're either waiting for a mistake, and a mistake could be, you go wide by, 6 inches or whatever it may be. Where in outdoor, you see a lot of the mindset. You saw it at the Worlds in some of these passes. You can see how somebody's setting somebody up and have different options, right? So I think that's something that outdoor lends itself to quite nicely, which I think could be a lot of fun. And a lot of people who have only done indoor glued or groomed surfaces really have an experience. So I think that people will find that as a very positive thing.
This is going to be an experience like people hadn't had in a long time in 10 scale racing. Got one of my favorite track builders, Bobby Moore, is building the track.
Yep.
I've been at so many events he's done, and he's going to put some love into this track, and it's going to be, both vintage and modern friendly, which will be great. And if he don't like something or something doesn't look right, Bobby's not going to let it go. He's going to fix it. That's just the kind of guy he is, and kind of builder he is. We have a question here. I want to answer Blake real quick. Hello, everyone. First live on Facebook on here. What are y'all talking about? So Blake talked about the ONS Outdoor National Series. It's going to be a combination race between both modern and vintage cars. Getting outdoors again, like back in the day, with 10 scale racing. So that's what we're here talking about. And we got Cole. Do you know Blake, Cole?
I probably do.
Probably.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I got Cole Tollard on here, Jose Zayas, Jason Rono, myself, old school Dirk, and just sitting here chit-chatting about a race we've got coming up in Savannah and the series in general. So, one cool things about the series that I'm really fascinated about and love is that, it's really destination places that we're taking these races to. And, if you've never been to Savannah, it is absolutely beautiful. The weather is going to be fantastic this time of year there. And, we've got one coming up in Virginia, not far from DC. If you wanted to take a little trip to DC, 1 day trip, my wife and I did that last time. We were at Mimi's and had a great time. And then we've got one of my favorite spots in Florida, which is Fort Walton and Destin Beach, to close it out, which is going to be great as well. So, getting back to our roots, going outdoors, baby.
And, something that was brought up here is who's covering the ONS is basically Elite RC Productions is doing this entire series. They're the ones that are responsible for doing our INS and series as well. So we're going to have the same coverage for the ONS that we did at the INS, which is Lance behind the mic, Danny Paz running cameras and switching driver interviews with Keenan. Keenan's going to be doing the commentary on the live commentary. So we're going to have the exact same coverage from the INS that we do ONS and vice versa. And so I think that's where we're going to have some big videos, some stuff that's really going to catch, I think, a lot of people's eyes. There's going to be some great videos that come out of this, and there's going to be some great photos. And, it's going to rival the way it looks is going to rival some of the stuff we saw in Australia. Albeit that was the Worlds, and they have there's another level of preparation there going on and we had 100% perfect weather in Australia. So, we're hoping for just a portion of that, and we're going to have some great looking stuff to show the world here on the internet.
Yeah, it is going to be amazing for sure. Are you saying I finally get to hang out with Lefty?
I believe you do. I believe Lefty's going to be there.
All right. It's about time. Give a little shout out to Jose. I don't know if y'all know this about Jose, but Jose, he is also the founder of Z3D. Did I say that right, Jose?
Yes, sir.
Finally.
I see Patrick's comment. Yeah. I'm glad you got it, buddy.
So he has, him and Daniel McDade of Dragon Punch RC have created kind of recreated to keep the Losi XX buggies alive, Cole. If you hadn't seen this car yet, it's called XX Squared, which they basically used all the geometry. Such an amazing build. And I'm seeing a lot more builds pop up, and they made their debut at the last vintage race in North Carolina. And proud of you, buddy, for that one, and keeping that car true and real. And I know it wasn't easy. I know Jason knows too. I mean, I know he started out building a BJ4 and, taking something from kind of design to live is something special. So good shout out to you.
No, thanks. It's a lot of fun. And I talked to Jason about this, I don't know, about a year ago. I made a part for a BJ4, and that was a lot of fun where we were trying to put lipo trays on it. So a lot of these cars, Associated's done a really good job in redoing a lot of their vintage cars, which allows that community to have something. Some of the other, low C and others, there's not as much parts available. So, I think that's something that we're trying to do, because part of reliving the 90s is reliving, what many of these cars gave us, those stories. So I think we're trying to do whatever we can to keep as many of those stories alive and experiences for those that had them or those that wished they had them right back in the day. So that's what we're trying to do. And it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you've done it, my friend. So thank you. Not only that, the parts that you've produced in the back to, with Z3D has helped a lot of people as well. So thank you for all you do for the vintage community and beyond. A lot of comments about low C.
It's hard not to get pigeonholed into one side or another in this, right?
Right.
You start talking to somebody about vintage, and pretty soon they're all vintage, and you're like, no. I do modern too, and then they start thinking you're all modern, and they're like, no, I do vintage too, and it's like, it's like, hey, people start talking to you, it's like, hey, you're old, you must like vintage. No, I do modern too.
Yeah. No, and of course, we're going to be there for the TLR running the brands. There's going to be several of us there. We can talk about that at whenever it's
Yeah.
So anyway, you keep going, Dirk. I mean, we're excited just to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm just, curious about your overall feeling. I mean, honestly, a lot of people thought TLR was dead, right? That it was going away. I know you and I have been talking about in the background for a long time, and you were very, very confident behind the brand the entire time that it was going to make a comeback and that they were going to continue to do some great things. You got Ben Ellis at the helm right now,
Yep.
Which I think is, an amazing person to lead that. And bringing in people like you and others to help continue the brand, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I would not have said that probably 2 years ago, just to be honest.
No, and a lot of folks, for one reason or another, no reason rehashing that they might have thought the TLR was going away. I personally, as you shared, didn't think it was going to go away. It definitely, like everything, goes a bit through its ebbs and flows. And I think with the modern platforms, I hope people can see and have confidence that not only are the products new and fresh and exciting, like many folks, Schumacher just came out with a new four-wheel. I mean, I think a lot of companies are working hard to stay on top of their own game and their own products, but TLR now has 3 fresh platforms: the truck, the buggy, and the four-wheel. And the team's doing well. We have a regional manager structure, which we haven't had in a while, to create a little bit more connective tissue at the regions, to really, work closer together and so forth. So we really are, I think we're doing incredibly well. As you mentioned, Ben's great, easy to work with, super accessible. So I'm really excited for not only where we sit today, where we're going. And as I shared a few minutes ago, I know Hunter's going to be there, Sean Harding's going to be there, a few other folks from TLR. I heard, Jason, just wanted to ask you, I should talk, is JR going to be there? Has he been convinced?
I have him written down here on my list. I got to contact him and see what.
So I'll nudge him too. Maybe we'll nudge them together and see. You have more throwaway than I do, so I'll also nudge.
I made a list here of the last few discussions we've had, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to invite and try to encourage all these drivers to go.
Yeah. So we should have good contingency there. And of course, I'm super excited that Cole and Schumacher will be there. I think there'll be a lot of flavors. And if you're on the private side of the equation, you'll get to be able to have support by many of the folks there to help set up your vehicle, especially if it's a new experience in an outdoor surface. Yeah. Everybody, if you haven't been there, you're going to be frustrated, but we're all going to be frustrated together trying to figure out the track, and we'll get there. And by the end of it, we'll be having high fives. So it's going to be a good experience.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to put it.
Bring back TLR.
I can say, Shane, sorry, no short course in the plan. That I can tell you, and I'm not giving any trade secret. There are no short courses in the plan from the TLR.
I heard a rumor. I guess it's not a rumor, but that Cole is one hell. They say when you see him in a short course truck, there's nothing like him. So I would love to see him and Patrick Rossiter like battle at Savannah in a short course truck. I think that would be freaking amazing.
All right, Cole. Schumacher doesn't have one. We'll dust off your old TLR. How's that? There's no conflict.
Still around here somewhere.
I'm sure you have it somewhere behind you.
So is that kind of what kind of your roots, Cole, is starting in short course? And
I mean, yeah, short course, right around the 2009, 2010 is right when short course was really booming. And that's when we started traveling to more races with the Sky Ernst short course showdowns.
wow,
Which was a lot of fun. I think that's what really got me into RC and just kind of kept on traveling from there.
sweet. So how many races do you say you go to a year, Cole?
Not as much anymore, but I would probably say like 6 to 7 bigger ones.
Okay, right.
Right now, I'm trying to hit one every month. That's my goal, but we'll see.
He said you're another league. Always, Patrick and I have been close kind of since I've been back, and just going to all the big A scale races and watching him and race short course was just one of the features for me to enjoy. So we're excited to. I'm excited to go to his track because I haven't been to Savannah, so I'm excited to get there and race. And we actually hosted a vintage race there, and Old School sponsored that piece of the event. And something happened last minute; I wasn't able to go, but I'm excited to get out to Savannah and race some vintage outdoors for sure. Excited to see my buddies like Chris Hackinson come down and see if he runs. His class count I think started at 3. I think it's probably up. Chris, you'll have to tell us what's your class count up to now. So, Chris is kind of like me. He brings his ride or die with him everywhere he goes, and I think Brooke is like the term marshal of the year if we had an award.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw Chris. He raced the INS with us.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
And he had a good time there. We had some dinner, got together, and got to see them, got to see him race and do a good job out there.
Yeah.
And, and we got Keenan here, who's he just can't wait to get a hold of Danny Paz on the track. They have a big battle going.
That's what I hear. He was talking about that last week, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. They can't wait to get each other on the track. And I think, I don't know which one has the advantage. For some reason, I feel like Danny has a slight advantage, but when you talk to each one of them, they have a little bit of a different story. So
Keenan, do you have vintage plans? Are we going to be able to see you race a vintage car? I had to ask. So if we need to put you one together, you let me know. I think we can put you together a Grasshopper or something like that. You'd be pretty competitive with it. Or a Willie class.
We should take wagers between both of them. How's that?
Yeah.
Does Georgia allow gambling? Somebody should let us know. I'm sure they do.
I'm sure what nobody knows won't hurt them, right? I do want to race gas truck. I've been here debating whether I should build one, and I've never run gas truck, and I would love to get one out there. And
amazing.
Yeah.
Favorite class?
Is it? You gonna run some gas here?
Maybe.
All right. Say no. Jose holds his cards close. He might show up with some new rig.
No, I just have a lot of work to do. I don't have enough time.
I don't. You know what? I don't even have one. I did not get a gas truck. But I really would love to run one of the associated Riris and bring it out. So we'll see. I haven't started looking at my cars for this race yet.
Are you going to race a modern as well?
I've got them sitting behind me. I don't know if you noticed. So
I see them. I'm just wondering what are you running?
Well, I wanted the people to know that I'm not just old school. So I'm definitely going to run 17.5 two-wheel drive. I'm going to be running vintage stadium truck. I'm going to be running vintage two-wheel drive, of course. I'm going to bring the old Snap-on truck back out. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to bring the modern stadium truck out or not. So we'll see.
Got it.
We will see. I guess I can't run them all, but I guess I could. You know, what's to stop me? A bigger vehicle, trailer. You know?
What gas truck do you have, Jose?
Losi.
Well, I mean,
the triple X NT, the triple X NT.
Okay,
there it is.
So the NT was the first one on the triple X platform.
Yep.
And then there was the Drake edition. Was after
there was
that?
The Drake, and then the 82, the Drake second, which had the quick disconnects in the back.
Okay, so there was really 3 of them, right?
On the triple X platform. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
I have got to get a hold of the Drakes. I would love to see them come out to this event.
Yeah.
I have Adam on my list here. That would be an easy gas truck performer to run. He's got them all built. He's got them all, I think, ready.
Yeah.
12 of them sitting in front of him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayfield would be a good one for gas truck.
Who's that?
Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could get him. I'm sure I have a GT that he could run that's somewhat ready. But,
yeah, that it would be fun to see him running gas truck. I talked to. I sent Tebow a message. Haven't heard back yet. We started talking, and then I haven't heard back after. But he would be another one I'd love to see come play outside again. I think that would be fantastic because I know he was. I heard he was the man in gas truck back in the day as well.
Yeah, I think he won 6 nationals in a row, 6 or 7 nationals in a row, and he probably has all those trucks. So all he's got to do is take one off the shelf,
right? Yeah, buddy.
So yeah, I mean, look at Patrick's got the Losi gas trucks, as Jose mentioned. They had the Duratrax converted, the LXT, the GTX, the NXT, Triple X NT, 81, 82. So they had quite a few of them, I guess.
Yeah.
I had the 81 and the 82 still sealed in a box before I moved.
Wow.
Okay.
And I let them go. So, yeah, they were big money cars too. Still, bringing big money.
I was part of the project when they first made the Triple X NT. I had the prototype truck. This had to be like 2000, I think. We ran the 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit. Yeah, late 90s, early 2000 for the original NT. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had the first machined one that we raced Silver State with. I think it was me and Ken Wald, Matt Francis, and maybe there was another 1 or 2 trucks. There was either 4 or 5 of them, and we ran Silver State when it was in the junkyard there in Nevada.
Yeah.
And this was probably the 4th Silver State. You know, they started right at the end of the 90s. I want to say 97, 98 was the first one. So yeah, probably 3 or 4 Silver States in, we ran the gas truck, and it was that NT was new then, and that was tough. That was interesting going out there and running gas truck only. We didn't even run 8 scale at that time. So obviously people did, but I mean, I went and just ran gas truck, and you sit out there and you're on this big track, and everyone's running 8 scale, and you're just rolling around. And the track was brutal.
Oh my God, those, especially on Sunday.
Man, that track was brutal.
So Keenan, 188 cars I sold before I moved back to Tennessee, just so you know. 188 vintage cars. That's a lot of freaking cars. But Patrick made a good point. Stephen Dunn would be another cool one to get out there. I know he made it to North Carolina. And
yeah, he was in North Carolina. He's got a lot of goodies in his house. I don't know if his, he races a lot of sprint cars, full scale. So I don't know when his season starts, I'm sure, but I'll reach out to him. That's a good point. Him and I talked quite a bit before North Carolina.
Yeah, I would love to see him. I hate that I missed him. That was one of the, not that I don't enjoy going and seeing all my other buddies, but I haven't seen Steven since '89, and I was looking forward to seeing him. But
he was running some of the same stuff he was running in '89. We had to help him out a little bit in North Carolina.
That's what I heard. Was he still running crystals as well, or what?
He probably was if we didn't tell him not to. Yeah.
Hey, Vincent, bring back the Florida Winter Championships at Lake Park. That is a plan, buddy. I know that we're definitely working with Son of Anderson to try to get definitely some plans. Hopefully everybody's behind me to run. I'd like to run a vintage Florida Winter Championships, probably as close as we can get to the original date. I was thinking it was like second week of February back in the day, Jason. Am I right? Do you remember?
I think it was after the Reedy race.
Yeah.
The Reedy race was first. That was Reedy's birthday. And,
right.
And then the Winter Champs was after that. So I'd have to look it up, but
yeah,
it was definitely in February, and I think it was later in February.
Maybe it was third or fourth week. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Jason, what was the year that we had to get trucked in with the John Deeres?
Probably.
That was the last time I was there.
I think that was 98 or 99 is when they did where it flooded and you had to, they're taking everybody in on a trailer.
I remember seeing pictures of that.
Crazy. It was crazy.
When was the last Winter Champs? When was the last Winter Champs?
Oof.
I would say the last one was around 03, I think. And there was one that it rained the entire time, and I think that was the last one.
Okay.
I don't know that it had ever gotten rained out before, and I remember being there, and they were actually running in the rain. And man, this could have been 02. It was somewhere around there, 02 or 03. I think was the last year, and then they changed. There was a club in Clearwater, Florida, which we were talking about, Minreg. They kind of combined with the Lake Park crew, and they started the Losi race.
Yep.
So in, I think 04 or 05, we had the first Losi race at Lake Park, which was kind of like the Winter Champs, but not really. It didn't have near the turnout and near the international participation. And I would say the glory years of the Winter Champs, in my opinion, was probably from, Dirk was there in '89, but it has to be from around '89 to I think '97, I think was kind of the last really good one.
Wow.
In my opinion. So I would say from '89 to '97, that was kind of the sweet spot of the Winter Champs. And after that, it was kind of tough to put it together the same way. And it eventually turned into the Losi race. And then the Losi race, I can't really remember why they stopped doing the Losi race, to be honest. I don't remember why.
It was probably close to the Sail of Horizon too. I mean, if I think about it, if we track it, I think there's a little bit of a connective tissue, because I went to 3 or 4 at Minreg. I did not go to the one back at Lake Park, but I think if we look back, I think that's close to the Sail. I'm not saying that that's the reason, but I'm wondering if that's a little bit of connective tissue there.
There was one where they brought one of the last Losi races at Minreg. They brought the 8 scale buggy. There was brand new, and I don't know if that was the last one or the second to last one, but right in there.
I do remember Cole. You probably seen them on web. I think they had the coolest trophies. I don't know if you remember, Jason, that it was a full kit. Was the trophy painted in that chrome paint? So it was a chrome buggy and a chrome truck, or a chrome gas truck for the winners, or whatever it was. That was a really neat little.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I remember they kind of went all out and built, like, it was kind of using one of those spec cars, I think.
Yep,
at the time,
the sports cars. Yeah, but they painted them like chrome. The body was chrome. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so Patrick's got it here. The '06 when the 8 was showcased. So that might have been the last one. And then we had our very first JConcepts Clash at Lake Park in '07. So that's what I was, that was our first event we did. We did Nitro, or we did 8 scale and 10 scale at one event at Lake Park, and that was '07. So yeah, it's moving by quick.
So Ben's been sitting in the background just listening to us brag on him the whole time. He said it was the blue spec kit chromed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It was the coolest trophy. I think that was amazing.
Yeah. Ben, how are you, buddy? Thanks for the support for the race, and we're excited to see some of y'all down there for sure. I still have one of those trophies. Wow. I would love to see some pictures of that, Ben, if you have them.
Yeah, post it because it's cool. They're cool.
Yeah, that would be super cool. Very, very cool.
Ben is old school too. He goes back a ways.
He does. I can tell by his hairline.
He used to come back, and I know he used to drive from up north up north in Florida. And that was an event where they would come down and run at Lake Park for club races. And I think it was like 4 hours for them to travel from North Florida to come to Lake Park. And like him and Donnie Jackson and all these guys used to come from North Florida all the time to run the club races. And we'd have, I know there was times we had at Lake Park 250 entries for a club race. We were racing in the dark, basically. There was no lights, and the mains, like they're trying to finish the mains. And it was the pinnacle.
Yeah, we would travel up for club racing there every so often as well, Jason, from South Florida. I wasn't too far, just in Fort Pierce, and came up. Did you ever race at the track in Stewart that they did? It was coming in the time I was leaving. Did you ever go down there, the hobby shop and the track behind it, kind of in the woods?
No, but I know what you're talking about. Was it Lou's?
I think it was Lou's. Yeah, the guy, they moved from Jersey or something and came down, him and his family, and opened it.
Yeah, I knew several guys that did race there. Tim Davis is another guy that he was at the Associated Vintage race in Vegas. Yeah. Tim wasn't racing, but he lived down there. He raced there.
Lou's the one that got me into quarter scale sprint cars right before I moved.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were crazy. 2024-ish.
Yeah, we got the
Paul in the house.
Little John Walters. He was a big racer back in the day, and he was always from North Florida. Pensacola is what they always used to say anyway. He used to come down too sometimes to Lake Park, but he used to go to Savannah a lot too. So these are all guys that you never know. They'll you never know. Some people just decide to pop up.
Yep. Yeah, it would be cool. It'd be cool if this turned into like an outdoor style reunion, where everybody just comes together and has a good time and reminisces. And Patrick, are we going to have some good food? We're going to have a good food truck and stuff out there cooking up some grub.
I don't know personally what the plans are for food other than, we always went somewhere to eat there.
Yeah.
We just drove and went around the corner somewhere, yeah. But they probably only had, I don't even remember them having food trucks for the Roar Nationals when we were there, but maybe they did.
I might be selling hamburgers out the back of my truck then.
Those are usually the people that make the money at these races. Whoever's selling food.
That's the fun of outdoor racing.
Right? Bring your own grill. And
somebody will have their own grill. That's right.
Yeah. Is this inside a state park or any kind of city park or anything?
It's a park. Yeah. And it's surrounded by water.
Okay.
And you drive over a bridge to get into the track area.
Wow.
It's a little bridge, it's not, but it's almost like you see in the movies where it's like, there's like a moat around like a castle. Like, it's not like water like that around the whole park.
Yeah. I had to bring a boat.
You could.
Yeah. I will talk to the club president, verify the park is county owned. Okay. So I guess, Patrick, a question would be, is alcohol strongly discouraged at a outdoor race like this in a county park, or is it as long as it's concealed, is it okay? Asking for a friend. I don't really drink, but I think everybody knows who my friend is. But all right, Cole, you got anything else for us tonight? Anything you want to go out on?
Not that I know. I just hope that everyone can make it out to this event. I know when I first started racing, like short course showdown stuff in 2010, 2011, I went to a lot of outdoor tracks. I went to Summit RC Raceway for the regional nationals, and then for regionals. And then I went to the Hobby Haven Shootout, which I believe Jason probably remembers that.
Yep.
Those kind of ring a bell to me. Those are a lot of fun events. Granted, it was all outside, and it just seems like those memories are more cemented in my head. I don't know why, but it's just a lot more fun.
Yeah. I mean, some of my best times were setting up the tent. You had to, you normally have some kind of hot dog stand or something roll in. There weren't really food trucks back in the day, right? The guy pulls up with this little cart on the back, and unhooks it, and cooking some of the best Italian sausage and hot dogs and all the good stuff, and charging those batteries on your car. You probably don't remember nothing about that, Cole. But
Cole has no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, I've seen or heard of it, but I've never witnessed it.
Right. So it's going to be amazing. Y'all are definitely missing out if you don't come. Don't want to put any pressure on you, but I kind of am. I know the vintage crew is going to show up big. We need to get the modern guys to show up big. Cole, you can help us do that. And Jose as well. Let's get all these different teams out there. I know Associated's got some big names coming. Jason, you want to talk about some of the big names coming so far?
Well, we got Spencer Rivkin. He's going to be coming out. We got his flights are all booked and everything. We got Ryan Mayfield's going to come race. It's his first 10-scale race again since the Vintage Clash of Champions. So in his first race running a modern 10-scale car in a couple of years. So, we kind of called on him to try to come out and compete in this thing. And, we wanted to get some action. And, it's not the most convenient timing after Nitro Challenge, but I think he's going to make it happen. We got his flights already set. And we have a lot of racers that are already booked in and committed. And, what we're going to do is we're going to drive from Florida. Paul's going to take our van and trailer. I'm going to take my truck, so we have plenty of vehicles to take everybody around that needs a ride. And we're going to have 2 Airbnbs. We got one Airbnb that's for sort of our media crew, and then we have another Airbnb that's kind of for our other racer crew. So we got 2 Airbnbs there, and that we're going to be using, and we're going to have a lot of drivers trying to dive in and get their spots somewhere on a bed, air mattress, a floor, whatever they can get. We just want to fill this thing up. We want to sell this race out and show what people can do, and we want to put on a good show and have some great content for everybody to see online.
I take it Adam Rails is going to be there. I haven't really even talked to him about it, but I'm sure he will be. Chance to race outdoors. I know Chris Van Air will be there. A lot of the vintage guys have already committed for sure, and we're seeing more and more of the modern sign up as well. I want to make sure we take a moment to thank our sponsors that make all this possible, because without them, we're doing races, but our wallets are a lot more empty for sure. Got JConcepts, of course, ProTech RC, A Main Hobbies, Beach RC, Swerks, TLR, Old School RC, the No Name Podcast. I always have a hard time seeing that bottom one. KRC.
Yeah, KRC Customs.
Yeah, KRC. We talked about that last time. They do stickers and vinyl and different things, Jason, right? Custom
Correct.
stuff.
That's absolutely right.
My buddies at Team Associated and Reedy, Hobby Wing, Elite RC, Coyote, starting to see Coyote everywhere. Team Trinity, another brand I know Jose represents. RC Sign Up, of course. Schumacher and Exalts. So thank you guys for all you do. Cole, how are you liking the Coyote? Aren't you running the Coyote stuff?
Yeah, the Coyote stuff is good. We continue to improve the product. More stuff in the works. And yeah, just really good brand. No complaints whatsoever. So
okay. I like the colors. So
yeah, it's unique, which really stands out.
Yeah, it does. Jose, you got anything you want to say going out, buddy, tonight?
No, listen, I'll just say one thing. I was fortunate to go to the race in Indiana, which Jason talked about, and I'll connect it back to this. And a lot of people left that race really excited. They went into that race not knowing how it would be, and they left really excited. I did not get to go to the associated race, but the same thing. A lot of uncertainty, and people left really excited. I think the ONS series, in my mind, falls in that category as well, right? There's this opportunity for us to go back outdoor. We all believe that it could be a lot of fun. We all recognize that it's going to be in great facilities. We don't know what the outcome will be. I guarantee you that if we go into it with the right mindset, meaning that we know it's going to be a little bit challenging at first, but there's going to be a lot of fun on the backside of it. I think people will leave there going, wow, that was amazing. So don't miss out. Basically, that's my plug to don't miss out, because I think we have two examples just shot in 25 that had that spirit, and it's an opportunity to do something. If you were old school, to try it again. If you're new school, you've never done it, it's something different. And as Cole alluded to, and Jason, it's a whole new different experience. So I think RC's about that, right? We're competing, we're having fun, we're hanging out with friends, whatever. I think outdoor does that a little bit better than indoor. Not because we're talking about outdoor, but because all the reasons that Jason and Cole alluded to. So let's not miss out on this opportunity, because I think Jason's taking a risk here by doing an ONS series. There's plenty of things that he can do with his spare time, of what spare time he has, right? And I think that we should really give this all a try, and I hope everybody will show up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they will. And thank you guys for coming on tonight. I want to answer Richard's question here real quick and see if we do have any questions. What is the best area to look for and to stay in, or any area to stay away from? So,
I would say to Richard, just have him get in touch with me later, and I'll talk with my buddy Jeff, who was on our first show. He's like the Savannah expert, and along with, obviously we can ask Patrick too, but I'll get him some information from Jeff or Patrick, and then we'll be posting some more of that as time goes on here. I know Lance and Danny and the crew, they like to kind of get that information up, and so we'll get it combined. But yeah, just have them reach out to me, and I'll get some information.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, Richard, my wife's done some research. There's an Element Hotel right there in Savannah Midtown, which is closest to the track. And then there's a few more. Of course, we're Marriott people. Well, she's a Marriott person. I can't afford Marriott, but there's a lot of nice hotels really close in that Midtown area to go. But we'll definitely get some more information posted for sure. All right, guys, I'm excited. I hope you all are as well. Thank you, Cole. I know this is your first one of these you've done. Can't thank you enough. You did an absolutely amazing job, and I can't wait to race with you. And I definitely can't wait to smoke Jose again on the track. And
what are we smoking, Dirk?
Yeah, probably
Sorry.
burger or turkey or something, And I'm hoping to see Jason with the radio in his hand. So I guess that is.
Jason, are you racing?
One of the things I'm trying to do is I want to run the 91 stealth car.
Yeah.
So I'm for sure going to be driving the 91 stealth car. I want to definitely get that thing done. I've always wanted to drive it. So I'm going to try to drive that. And I did order a B7.1 the other day.
Nice.
If I wanted to run the modern car, I know Paul, and he's going to get building his here pretty soon. So maybe I can build it together with Paul and the guys and maybe get something together. But for sure the 91 car, because that thing's almost done. It just needs to set the radio and put a body on it and tires. So that thing can run. I know that.
Right. Yeah, I'm really wanting to bring one down as well and run it. So I don't know that I'll have time to get one done, but we'll see. I could just send it to you, Jason, let you have your mechanics do the work.
Then I let Julian build it.
Yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all very much. Until the next one, we're still going to try to do these, at least weekly, maybe every other week, depending on Jason and I's schedule. And hope to have some other big names on as well very, very soon. And let's take it back outdoors, folks. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you for having us. Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.